This is the EyeLine putting plane system. It's designed to give you instant feedback on all areas of putting alignment. It's also designed to allow you to putt exactly as you would on the course. There's no false substances. It's designed around the base of a mirror. It's a laminated acrylic mirror that doesn't absorb moisture. And most important to play, it's only 1/8 of an inch thick. And that's important because it allows the putter head to come in contact with the ball exactly on the sweet spot. The rails on the putting plane system not only adjust to fit every putter size, but they can also be taken off to use for other putting drills. The putting plane rail was developed by Mike Perpich, a top 100 instructor in Alpharetta, Georgia. First thing we want to do is set the system down and get it sized exactly to the size of our putter. We lay it down. We set our putter down to where the heel of the putter is on that inside rail, and that the center of the putter, the sweet spot, is on the black line. The spring-loaded rails just simply move, and they'll stay in place. The next thing we want to do is we want to line up the mirror at our target, because we're going to start making putts. We've got the system adjusted exactly how we want it. We're going to step into the putting system now, and we're going to begin to check our setup. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our eyes are exactly in the mirror right over the black line. So look down, see your face, and see your eyes over that black line. Sometimes that requires adjusting this setup, and sometimes it requires adjusting where I am on the grip. But in this case, the grip is fine, eyes are over the ball. The second thing I want to look at is in the base part of the mirror down here, I can see my shoulders. And if my shoulders are square to the target, I can see both of them. If my shoulders are open, I can only see one. If my shoulders are shut, I can only see one. But if I get them squared up, I can see both my shoulders. Of all the things we do and all the clinics we do and all the teaching we do, misaligned shoulders is the #1 problem that people have, so pay special attention to that. So now we've got our eyes over the ball, we've got our shoulders square. The last thing we do in our setup routine is to make sure that the putter face is square to the red line. A lot of times you'll see somebody set up square, but the putter face will be out of alignment. So we set that putter square. Now you're set for perfect alignment, and what I'm going to ask you to do first is learn to use the putting plane now that we're set up squarely. So I want you to take a little bit of time and learn to move that putter, let the putter rest, the heel of the putter rest on the plane, and let it move forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, before we set a ball into motion. So the first thing we do is get it lined up. We take a look at the black line, the center line. We line it up. In this case, the putt's going to break a little right to left. I line it up right edge. Now I've got reference for my perfect setup. Step into the putt, look down in the mirror and check my lines. Eyes over the black line. Got it? Shoulders in the base of the mirror, set up square, putter face square to the red line, and the heel of the putter on the rail. I'm ready to go. I just pull the trigger. The thing that we see most often, among amateur players in particular, is that the putting stroke is way too long. The player brings the putter back way too far and then has to decel bringing it in and has a hard time because the muscles are all confused. If we can assist you in making a much more shorter, compact stroke, you're going to find that putter face returning to square a lot easier. So in the putting plane system, we have holes right behind the line. I'm going to put a T right here, and that's going to be my restrictor. It's going to allow me to make the stroke that I need to make this putt, but it's not going to allow me to get too long. So here we go. I now have that restrictor. Check my eyes, shoulders, putter face. I've got plenty of room to make this stroke. And the putter's going to come into the ball much more solidly. So by using the putting plane system so far, we've eliminated probably 7 out of the top 10 reasons why you miss a putt. Eyes aren't on the line, shoulders aren't square, putter face isn't square, putter's not on path. Took those all out of the equation. Now you're left with really the only thing left that allows you to miss a putt is if the putter face doesn't return to the ball at impact squarely. That can happen for a few reasons. We've got a couple of things in the system that I want to show you that will help you even do that. By putting a couple of T's in the front of the mirror, that checks our impact position. Now the idea behind this is if my putter face comes through at impact completely square, it's going to hit both of those tees at the same time. If, like we see so often, the putter face comes through open, it'll hit that inside tee first. If the putter face has released, which we like, the toe is going to hit first. That's a great checkpoint. Let's see how we do here. Set the ball in, take your time, check your eyes, shoulders, putter face, and then let's just simply make a stroke. Now you'll see that with me, I hit that outside tee first a little bit. That's where you ought to be. But if you find yourself coming through squarely or that heel hits first, you know that that putter face is coming through the impact zone open. There's two parts of learning. One is positive reinforcement, one is negative. The putting plane system, as I've showed you today, where you set the heel of the putter on the rail and it teaches you exactly how to make the positive stroke, is called positive reinforcement. It forces me to do the right thing. That's the first step in learning. The second step in learning is to move that inside rail away from the putter, 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. The goal of which is to give me negative reinforcement, that if I don't make the proper stroke, I hear the clank on the rail. So I would bring it back. A good stroke would bring it back and not hit the rail. A poor stroke, we do hit the rail. We hear the clank on that aluminum rail. Start with the heel of the putter on the rail, learn that positive stroke. Somewhere in the middle of your practice routine, move that rail away from the putter, still keep it there. It's a great visual and it gives you that negative feedback. The third element, and the rail that we've not talked much about, is this outside rail. And it's not for everyone, but if you are a person who occasionally has that problem of yanking the putter outside right off the start, that rail will give you that kind of reinforcement. And what I would tell you is do the same thing with that. Move it in to where the toe of the putter rides that rail, make some strokes where it's giving you plenty of reinforcement on that outside rail, move it slightly away, and then make some strokes where you're not hitting any of the rails at all. The final element that I would tell you in your practice routine is to take the rails off completely. This allows us to just begin to feel that total freedom of the stroke. While we still check our eyes and our shoulders and our putter face, we can also check just that perfect alignment. The final thing that we find in why people don't return the putter face square to impact is that the shaft angle is out of whack. And we see that a lot of guys on the tour are really checking for this. Grant, if you can help me, I want to try to demonstrate this. Here's what I mean by that. Putters are made to have about 4 degrees of loft, and they are typically constructed in a way that the grip of the putter is typically going to be almost completely vertical over the ball. What we find sometimes is that people will get in this position, they'll forward press it too far forward, shut the loft completely down, the ball will bounce, or even more often, they'll get their hands too far behind, increases the loft, ball misses the sweet spot. If the putter face is exactly where it should be, where that the hands are right vertical over the ball, the loft will be correct, and the putter face wants to return here. So what we find with a mirror is that if we put our putter here, take the rails off of the inside, we can take a Sharpie and just make a line on the mirror that is the reflection exactly where we want the shaft to be. Gives us a perfect benchmark to say this is my perfect position. So in summary, we've got eyes, shoulders, putter face, and even shaft angle in the putting plane system.